And call this special school board meeting to order. Thank you all for attending. Mr. Superintendent, if you would go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, Madam Chair. And we called this special meeting. This is a special board meeting. Regular board meeting takes place at 3:30.
Yes.
But just want to have our board consider our new interim attorney, and Mr. Don Holmes. I've asked him to have a seat here until we have an opportunity to formalize things. But in front of you, you have a contract. And as you know, we talked about last meeting, our former representation, there was a conflict. So we are currently going to have an interim board attorney, and then we'll discuss next steps after that. So in front of you, you have the contract for legal services. This is really basically what we were determined we had with our current attorney as far as cost. And everything is pretty much indefinite until we decide what our next steps are. So
And the contract's basically the same as what you sent us, what we got a week ago.
exactly.
New name.
Well, and
Right.
and a little history here, some years ago, the last time we developed a contract, they were one vote off, Holmes and Young, of being the board attorney.
Right.
And a different board chose the Douglas firm, but he was very, very good at.
Let me
obviously what he
clarify,
does.
and Mr. Holmes and I had this conversation. This is with Holmes and Young, and again, I think it's great because if there's times where Don cannot be here,
Got others.
his associate can come in who does not have the last name Pickens, okay? Who works for him, but there will not be a conflict there, and Don can expound on that if he needs to, but we made sure we took that into account.
Yeah, I just wanted to, my son does work for Holmes and Young as an attorney, mainly in the Crescent City office, but Bobby is an attorney with Holmes and
Right.
Young. So
Correct.
Okay.
And we just want to say that out loud, yeah.
And Madam Chairman, I didn't think there's any with Mr. Douglas with, Mr. Pickens work, Mr. Ian Pickens worked for him, and I got a full explanation of it, and I don't think there is, and I certainly don't think there's any conflict here, so I move approval of the contract.
I'll second it.
Okay. All right. We're open for discussion. Looked like that went quickly because we all know your reputation, and we have had some great service with the past body that served us. So any comments, discussion before we vote? It's been motioned and second. All right, it was motioned by Mr. Phil Leary that we accept the contract for legal services from Holmes and Young, and it was seconded by Mr. David Buckles. We're ready to vote. All in favor, let it be known by aye. Aye. Motion carries.
All right, and I'm gonna ask Mr. Holmes if he'd come up and join us on the dais now.
Yep.
And welcome aboard.
Yep.
That's one of the shortest meetings we've ever had.
And, yeah, we're gonna have to get the other one. We'll adjourn this one.
Okay.
But prior to, one of the things, we were unable to conduct business this morning until we took care of this, for the expulsion committee. So we know that in the future going forward, we will have that representation.
And we
there.
did meet with Mr. Holmes earlier, my staff and I.
Yes, sir.
And we talked about all that, so he's trying to process all that now. So
Okay, and the person that served, from the other firm, they always brought in gifts and stuff like that. I'm joking.
Be careful,
Hey,
be careful.
listen, that was,
she might be in
listen,
contempt.
no. I don't want anything from anybody, just prayers, and that doesn't cost you. Okay, all right, so we are now ready to adjourn our special meeting, giving our IT department enough time to